Let's do this. Hi, fellow nurses. Happy New Year. I've missed you. Have you missed me? Happy New Year. We pray for good health this 2025. This is going to be a very, very long video, but I hope you have the time to watch it to the end because it's going to be very helpful. Are you a registered nurse who wants to be a USRN licensed nurse? You want to work in America? And you've made that this year's resolution, you've made that your resolution for 2025. Okay, then you are watching the right video. Do not skip any part. This is going to be a conversation because this is a second nature for me. I've done this over and over and over again, and I'll be tackling a few of your questions and a few of the scenarios that pertain to you. Remember, this journey is very unique, and your story and your background and your reason for doing this might be different from somebody next door. So let's go right into it. I'm Priscilla Kuma. I'm a registered nurse, originally from Ghana, work in the USA as a registered nurse. I have worked in different fields as a nurse. I've been an RN for over 13 years now. I'm the lead consultant for USRN Pathway Consult. I have the expertise to guide you, and hopefully this video is helpful in the spirit of giving. Happy belated birthday to me. My birthday was Christmas Day. I'm still in the New Year mode, still excited. So in the spirit of giving, I would be giving free tuition, free education in this video. If you're able to follow all these steps, trust me, you'll be able to come out successfully as a USRN. I always advise you come to us at USRN Pathway Consult for us to guide you when everything is confusing and you don't have the time or you don't understand the process and you don't want to waste money and energy and time. Come to UPC, USRN Pathway Consult. We are found at www.usrnpathwayconsult.com on the website. Register on there and then we reach out to you. You know, we still have a promo that is going on, so if you're able to enroll all the way till 31st of January, and luckily we are extending this for further more extra days. If you're able to enroll, you qualify to get free tuition for a month. I mean Nclex class for free for a month. If you were able to enroll between December 1st all the way to January 31st, and likely the last day of February. So sit back down, watch all our videos, subscribe to all our channels. As I said, this is going to be a very long video, so make time for it and it's going to help you. Do you want to be a United States licensed nurse in 2025? Do you want that to be the resolution that you've made? Do you want to achieve that goal? First of all, who even qualifies to be a United States nurse in the first place? Who qualifies? Okay, you must be a registered nurse. You must have gone to an accredited nursing school. I'm sure you heard the news. There are so many nursing schools that are not accredited, even in the US. There are a lot of them in Florida, a lot of them in Texas, and stay away from those. So you should have gone to an accredited nursing school. You should have come out successfully with a diploma or a bachelor's degree or higher. But the basis is you should have a diploma, either a 3-year diploma or a 3-year bachelor's degree or 4 years bachelor's degree based on wherever you school. I know places like UK, people have bachelor's degree under 3 years. So yes, so you should have gone to a nursing school that is accredited. You should have a diploma, a bachelor's degree, master's, PhD, whatever. But the basis is diploma or bachelor's degree. Obviously, you should have been older than 18 years old, I believe, and you should have the necessary documentations. So, back to the type of nurses. You can either be a general nurse, adult nurse, mental health nurse, or psychiatry nurse, midwife. You should have studied midwifery, preferably a bachelor's or a master's degrees or above, depending on whatever country you're watching this at. Everybody's educational system is different, but the bottom line is you should be a registered nurse, not a CNA, not a carer, not an aide, the nursing assistant. not a medical assistant, not a PCT, registered nurse with a diploma, bachelor's degree or above. Then you can qualify to take the Nclex, the licential examination for USA to practice in USA. We've highlighted the type of nurse. We've highlighted who even is a nurse in the first place. So if you think you meet this criteria, keep going. This video will be beneficial to you. Documentation wise, you should have a travel document, that's the passport. Sometimes you need it early in the stage, sometimes you need it later in the stage. And that passport should have at least 6 months lifespan on it. Let's say you're doing this in January, your passport should not be expiring in the next 6 months. It should be expiring after July, August, September, if you get what I mean. What are the steps involved? Where do I even start from? I want to be a nurse in the US and I don't know where to start from. This process is very lengthy. You should be somebody willing to do a lot of research. You should be somebody willing to do a lot of paperwork. If you hate paperwork, this is not going to be for you. There are a lot of things you have to read, you have to print, you have to sign, you have to scan, you have to submit, you have to send to institution upon institution. It's a lot of paperwork before you get to the end successfully. So let's keep going. If you love paperwork, let's keep going. This is for you. So the very first step is deciding which states in America I even want to be a nurse in, because you know America is so big. It's over 300 million people in here, and there are 50 states. So you have to decide what state at all do I want to go in. And even that, selecting a state comes with unique skills. You're not just going to choose a state because my husband is there, my wife is there, my girlfriend is there, my mother is there, my neighbor is there, my pastor, my church member is there. No. You have to be strategic in choosing a state, because not every state in the USA is friendly to a foreign educated nurse. Hope you're highlighting. You should actually have your notepad down and be writing the things I'm saying. So you are either an IEN, internationally educated nurse, or a foreign educated nurse. You can use those words interchangeably, okay? So you who did not school in the USA, you didn't school in America, you are an internationally educated nurse. You are a foreign trained nurse, and you are now trying to get a license to practice in USA. So as I said, you have to go to any state board that is friendly to you, quote unquote, a foreigner, quote unquote, an outsider, somebody who did not school here. Not every state is friendly to an educated nurse. What do I mean by friendly? Some of them will ask you for documentations that you don't have. For instance, social security number. You can only get there if you live in the USA and you work in USA. So far as you don't live here, you don't have that. So you want to stay away from a state like that. So states that are friendly, for instance, Texas board, you can go through this easily. New York state, you can go through that. So you want to go to the states that don't require too many of these things that you don't have. A house address, social security number, you don't have it. Stay away from those states. So choosing a state is a unique skills you have to even figure out in the first place. And it comes with a lot of reading, a lot of researching, not hearsay, not my friend said it, my coworker said it. No, you have to sit down and read for yourself. So when you decide on a state, let's say you decided I'm going with Texas Board of Nursing, what else do? You have to read, you have to go onto the website of Texas Board of Nursing and read about the requirements for an internationally educated nurse. Because mind you, these boards serve all type of nurses, including those who schooled in the USA. So you want to skip all that section and scroll down to where it says, if you trained outside USA, these are the instructions. You want to read that, print that, highlight things, underline things, and then somewhere in there, they are going to tell you you have to do what we call credential evaluation. And they would further go on to tell you what credential evaluation company you should use. It's going to be a lot of permutation and matching and elimination and a whole lot. So you need to print things down, write things down, underline things, highlight things, match things. If not, you're going to fail, trust me. Okay, so you've been to the website, they told you what you should do as an international nurse, what evaluation company you should use. Then you write the evaluation company's name down. You go to that evaluation company's website. So as usual, let me use your friend, CGFNS, Center for Graduate Foreign Trained Nurses or something like that. You go to their website, read all they have on their website, and you want to narrow down to the ones that says foreign trained nurse trying to do evaluation for USA. And further, the one that you have to use because you chose Texas State Board or whatever state you chose. So on there, CGFNS does a lot of things. They do so many things. So you have to make sure that you are choosing the right one. There are so many packages they sell. The CES, the CVS, there are so many things they sell. So you have to make sure you're choosing the one that matches with the state of your preference. If you're choosing New York, if you're choosing Ohio, if you're choosing California, if you're choosing New Mexico, Florida, Texas, then it has to match. Everything has to match. So you've agreed, you've followed whatever CGFNS is saying, you've chosen one for Texas, and then you've effected your payments. You get the evaluation forms. There are two types of evaluation you're going to do. As I said, I'm in a space of giving, so this is free consultation. This is the Bible, the steps you should follow to get this done. There are two forms of evaluation. I'm going to do an educational evaluation. I'm going to do a professional evaluation. So with educational evaluation, you are taking those forms back to your college, your nursing training college, your nursing school, wherever you had your nursing training. They would have to fill a certain portion. Make sure you have the theory hours and clinical hours. Remember when you used to go for clinical hours, go to the hospital, go to outpatient and all that? There are hours that you had a logbook they were writing down. They have to put that together now. It's going to serve a purpose today. And all the theories, you study microbiology, family medicine, pharmacology, they want to put all those theoretical hours together. And these evaluation companies have certain requirements of hours you have to meet. That is for you to go find out. Every evaluation company with whatever they want you to get in biology, whatever hours they want you to have in sociology, psychology, whatever. So your school does that. The other part of the form goes to your professional evaluator, your nursing council of your country. Not every country has a nursing council, but whoever gave you a nursing license to call you a registered nurse, they are supposed to be filling these forms for you. So they would also do the same. They would confirm that truly you are a registered nurse because you should have registered with them as a member. I know some of you had to leave the country before registering with your nursing council. Life happened, you took off, you left the country, you graduated nursing school all right, but you never got the license. There's a provision for that as well if you're a nursing school graduate. But this is going to be focusing mainly on those who have the nursing license, those who have been working as nurses for years, or fresh out of school but still have a nursing license and still waiting for a job. This is good for you. So you go to your nursing council, and then they also confirm that truly you're a registered nurse, you're a member of theirs, you are part of them, you've paid whatever, they've issued your registered nurse number. Are you following? I'm going very slow. This is the slowest I can speak. So I hope I'm not too fast. Yes. When your nursing board and your nursing school, nursing college, your university is done, they send those forms back to the evaluation company that requested it. They're not going to give it to you to send. The nursing board is going to charge you some amounts for DHL or EMS, or some don't even take any money. They mail it back to the requesting company. Sometimes they have to mail a physical hard copy. Sometimes they let something slide and say you can email it to this email address. If it's email, lucky you. If not, you have to hope that your nursing school comes in and sends it on time. And this is where relationships matter. Side note, you should have a good standing in your nursing school. Some of us went to school and thought we're done with them and we just moved on and treated the tutors badly. Now you got to go face them. Yes. So relationships matter, and they are going to put a good word on paper for you. You know, whatever you did back in school, they have them on your transcripts and your resumes. So you pray, and I also plead with the nursing schools in Africa Some of our tutors tend to stress us when we need these documents to continue our lives wherever we find ourselves. They don't want to do it on time, or they don't know how to do it. But luckily at UPC, USRN Pathway Consult, we have relationships with all these nursing tutors and nursing schools. We have a format we give to them and tell them this is how it should look like. This is what you should do. This is the kind of ink, black ink, red ink, blue ink you should use for this page and this page and this page. So we take that headache off your plate. All you have to do is study whilst we go around doing all this for you. Obviously at a fee, chicken feed, token. So they mail the documents back. The board lets you know they've received it. Because mind you have a portal. You've created an account. You have a portal. So you can see when the document was sent, when it was returned, if they are reviewing it, the reviewing phase, the stage you are, they're going to be telling you all that. And then they're going to be telling you the time to register with the Board of Nursing. So you're then going to go back to Texas Board of Nursing or whatever Board of Nursing you chose. And then you want to register. You have to match everything, because if Texas Board of Nursing is waiting for your document to get to them and it hasn't gotten to them in 1 year, they delete your account. Whatever money you paid goes null and void. So you want to make sure the timing is right so that the evaluation company can be done and send it to the board, and the board can receive it and move on smoothly. It's gonna be a long video. I've said it over and over again. I've already exhausted about 15 minutes or something already. But this is gonna be helping you. This is my gift to you. It's my birthday, but I'm the one giving you a gift. This is my gift to you for 2025. You should have this video saved and be using it going forward. And if you think it's too much, come find me at USRN Pathway Consult. We have dedicated professionals who will handle all that headache for you. Okay. I think I'm in too much of a good spirit, and we have a lot to talk about. So let's move on. And then there's background check, FBI background check, fingerprinting, how to get the form. Is a whole technique, a whole presentation we'll have to do in another video. But yes, there are specific forms you have to use. You have to do fingerprinting. UPC, we do that even if you are not in Ghana. We are able to direct you as to where to go, how to get it done, and all that, even if you don't live in Ghana. Mind you, we serve everybody who's schooled outside the US who wants to work in USA. We are not just like Ghanaian based, or we don't only serve African nurses. We serve everybody. So we do fingerprinting. And then we do Board of Nursing registration. That is something that you also need a little bit of research to be able to do the Board of Nursing registration. And then when your report is ready, they send it to the board. The board also do their review. Mind you, I've seen a few unique cases where the evaluation company says, no, you do not qualify. Your education does not meet that of USA. But then the board gives you the go-ahead and says they will accept it. Go ahead and register with Pearson and write Nclex. So sometimes the evaluation company will say, yes, your education matches that of USA, and the board will say no. When I say board, I mean Texas board, Ohio board, California board. That is what I mean when I say board. So the state board will say no. Evaluation company will say yes. The evaluation company will say yes. The state board will say no. You see that mismatch? So sometimes we still encourage you, even though your evaluation report came back negative and they send it to the board, we still keep fingers crossed, hoping a miracle will turn around and the board will say yes, and then we can take it from there. Perfect scenario, the evaluation says yes, the board says yes, everything is good to go. The board gives you the go-ahead to register with Pearson. You do your Pearson VU registration. What is Pearson? Okay, so they are the examination or examining body that takes that set up all these professional examinations, USMLE for doctors, BLAB, CBT, Nclex, and they have centers all over the world. So your job is to find a center. You just go into Google and say Pearson VUE centers near me. Wherever you are, they'll show you the nearest ones, the miles they are away from you, the kilometers they are away from you, and then you can register on there. This process requires a lot of patience, a lot of waiting, a lot of paperwork, money involved, stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and everything you can think about. But it's doable. I did it and I'm here. Other people have done it. More people are going to be doing it behind us. It's doable. You just need patience and a lot of research. You need to align with like-minded people. I have a Telegram group of about 7,000 nurses in there who are in different phases. There are groups of nurses who have written and passed, nurses who are about to write. UPC, you come, we put you in different sort of groups, and these groups serve as a motivation for others. People are ahead of you, or people are on the same level with you, and you can discuss progress with your the application and all that. Some of the boards have little tests you have to do. For New York board, I know you do child abuse, you do infection prevention. For Texas board, you do jurisprudence. Some of these things you pay like $30, $35. For evaluations, GFNS can range between $480 to $500 if you want extra copies. There's ERAS, there's Joseph Sinley. There are different evaluation companies. As I said, the board has to tell you what to use before you use it. Don't just get up and do anything. People want to know, do I need to take IELTS before I start? It depends. Some states don't require it before you start. Some states require it before you start. So that is when the technique of going with a state that does not require it comes in. Because mind you, IELTS lasts for 2 years. And if you take it before starting this process and your process lengthens or goes further beyond 2 years, the IELTS you took, the English test is going to expire, and you would have to take another one, another stress. You might fail it, you might pass it, you have to pay for it. So stay away from states that require upfront before your process starts, if you know what I mean. Let me just throw that in there. The cost involved, it depends on your location. If you are in UK, you have an Nclex center. If you are in USA, you have an Nclex center. If you're in Kenya, you have an Nclex center. If you're in South Africa, you have an Nclex center. But if you're not in a place where there's an Nclex center, then you have to also book a ticket, find a hotel, Uber, transportation, food, all that will come in. People want to know the exact amount today. Mind you, the currency and the exchange rates fluctuate too much. So I can't sit here and tell you it's going to cost you $2,000 to do it. I can give you an estimate, but I don't know where you are flying from. I don't know if you don't even need a flight. Maybe it's a walking distance from your house. Maybe you can ride a bike to the Nclex center. So everybody's situation varies. But the core ones I've already told you, evaluation can cost you maximum $480 to $500. If you go to your school and they want to take some money from you before they fill out your transcripts, I can't tell you how much your tutor wants to take or how much your school wants to take, if you get what I mean. And if they have to let you pay for career services, EMS, DHL, FedEx, I can't tell you how much. Sometimes it's like $30, sometimes $35. If you go to your nursing council, they have different amounts. For Ghana, it was $750 the last time I checked, $750 cities the last time I checked. You pay in ADB, I think Agri Developmental Bank or something, and all these prices change, but you have to do your research before you get ready. That is the advantage of self-sponsorship, what we do at UPC. You go as and when you get the money to do a certain stage. You don't need all the lump sum to start out right. You get it. So if you're able to pay for evaluation, you do that, and then you go gather money again or borrow or loan or whatever and move on. But if you are with an agency that is doing it for you, like Airvan, So Goody Payton, Passport USA, they have timelines they have to meet. Because mind you, they've signed a contract with the hospital and told them that in 36 months, in 72 months, we'll get you a nurse to start working. So they are on a time crunch. They want to get you rushed through so that you can come and be there because they signed a contract and collected money. But if you're a free agent, you're doing this by yourself, nobody's expecting to be at work in 2026, 2027. So you can do it at your pace. But also don't go and sleep for 1 year and come back. Everything will expire on you. I've seen a lot of those scenarios as well, and those nurses, if they are watching, they know what I'm talking about. Congrats to all the nurses that have passed. A few of you are in the US and working, and I'm excited. And we hope that in the coming years, more of you will be coming to join us in the US. So the Nclex centers, you have to search for the ones around you, and then you can schedule one. Let's talk about Nclex tuition. The educational system varies from country to country. What nursing entails in USA is not what you might have done. For instance, myself personally, Priscilla, trying to do endorsements for California Board of Nursing years back. My school sent everything that they sent early on to New York Board for me to get my original license. My original license is with New York, as most of you know. You've been following me for about 4 years, you know that. California Board said I was missing a course. What course? Microbiology. And it's not just a theory, but it's the practical. Tell me, how many of you did microbiology where you go as a nursing student, go into a lab and looking at a microscope and looking at all these slides and specimens and all? And no nursing school showing you that, where most of us come from. So luckily there's a waiver course you can take to make up for it, and there's a waiver form you can also fill out. So all the boards have these little intricacies that they want, and you have to meet those criteria to move forward. So your clinical hours matter, your theory hours matter. Don't miss a class. My fellow UK nurses, hi. Most of you have been worried, adult nurses and mental health nurses. You've seen a lot of UK nurses pass through UPC successfully, so it's doable. You have family here you want to join, you have a spouse here, your children are here, or you're just tired of the UK and you want to come to the USA and start afresh, or fill it out and see what it has to offer. You qualify. Do not let anybody discourage you. When you pass here, they say no to you. Pass here, they say no to you. Keep going until you've exhausted all the options necessary. Sometimes they tell you to make up some courses. If you can do that, do that. Sometimes you don't need any of that. Come to UPC. We'll show you the way how to get things done. Successfully gone through the paperwork and it's looking good. Whilst all this is happening, mind you, be studying. All this will be useless if you're not studying to write the Nclex and pass it, especially pass it one time. Especially if you're going to travel far away, buy tickets and take. You don't want to fail and go again and go again. It's expensive, capital intensive, this process. Yes. So you want to be preparing. I was talking about the curriculum and how different it is in the US. So you need to focus on US nursing curriculum. You want to study things that nurses in US who schooled in USA studied, because that's what the Nclex is tailored to. Cardiac telemetry. Most of you have never read an EKG or ECG strip before. You don't even know how to. It's a daily life. It's something we do here when we go to work every day. Your patient is on a cardiac monitor. You have to know how to read all these rhythms, all these arrhythmias, AFib, and all that you have to know. I'm sure your nursing school never taught you how to do that, because the doctor's job to read test results. Here you have to know ABGs, you have to know electrolytes, you have to know all that, and those are the things you see on Nclex examination. A lot of prioritization questions, a lot of technical questions, a lot of tech savvy questions, gadgets, questions that you don't even know. You haven't seen these machines before, but you have to answer questions. That is when I recommend you to take an Nclex tuition or an Nclex class. Back again to UPC, we have our tuition class every month. If January is not good for you, December will be good for you, March will be good for you, and it's an intensive 4 months 16 weeks class. There's a live Zoom class, 3-hour section. There are questions Monday to Sunday. There's a portal you have to go and solve questions, reading materials, audio materials. A lot of study materials will be dumped onto you, PDF documents and all that. So I recommend you find a durable, tried and tested Nclex tuition or Nclex tutor to work with, one-on-one or in group, until you adequately prepared. You cannot just get up and go write Nclex and pass. It does not happen, even if it's called in the USA. You can just wake up and write Nclex and pass. It requires a lot of staying up at night, at least an intensive 4-hour uninterrupted study hours, Monday to Sunday. Once more, it requires at least 4 hours straight uninterrupted study hours, Monday to Sunday. So at least 28 hours a week. A very concentrated 28 hours of study. That is what Nclex requires. You can be the best student, graduate with first class, you're valedictorian, whatever. If you don't study, you would fail. I'm not scaring you, I'm telling you the truth. And I know that you know this because you've taken it and failed. Or you know somebody who was a brilliant student in school and taken it and failed. So please, even if you can do only 2 months of tuition with a professional, what they do is they guide you, because the study material is voluminous. You can't cover everything. So they narrow it down for you. they open your eyes to how Nclex questions are strategized and how you should be able to see the answers. Because mind you, all the answers are right. Yes. And you have to choose the best and the one you do first. Yes. So they are able to skew your thinking to look in that direction of the right answers and be able to take them out. And if it's SATA, select all that apply, multiple right responses. If you miss one, minus one. If you gain one and all that, you need a professional to guide you to see all the right answers and pick all the right answers, if you know what I mean. Okay, yes. So do tuition with whoever you're comfortable with, a professional, somebody has results, pass rates that you can see and attest to. UPC, you see us sharing all these passes every day on our website, our pages, everywhere. So do that. After you pass, congratulations. What's next? You're gonna do something called visa screen certificates, because you're gonna start applying for jobs. You're gonna have a resume. Nurses don't write resumes. I don't know why you all nurses don't have resumes. Why? Please write a CV, curriculum vitae, resume if you're in the US. Write a CV even before you start this process. Get that out of the way. And then when you pass, you just insert Texas Board of Nursing, licensed nurse, and you put a number there and you're good to go. People pass and they take 2-3 months to go and bring me a resume for me to start searching for jobs for them. Write a CV down, update it with everything you are doing right now. People will say, I don't have a job experience. I've never worked before since I left nursing school. I'm currently not working because life happened. I lost my job. I got pregnant. I got fired. I don't want to be a nurse, whatever. It happens. And everybody has a chance to get a job, whether you're outpatient, whether you're bedside, whether you don't have the bed capacity that the hospitals are looking for and they call you because they have sponsored you or they are sponsoring you to go write Nclex and they want you to have 900 bed capacity. How many hospitals in your country has 900 bed capacity? So another advantage of self-sponsorship, nobody's looking at how many bed capacity you work at, and nobody should tell you no because you're an outpatient nurse, you are not an RN. They want you in ICU, they want you in emergency room, they want you in trauma, they want you in med-surg before they consider you. No, just go gather some money and do self-sponsorship. Come to UPC, we'll show you the way. Ooh, I love this. This is going well. Hopefully it's helpful to somebody. So make sure you have a good tuition, and then they will tell you you're ready before you even register and choose an examination date. Don't choose a date when you know you're going to write and fail, especially if you're going to fly to Kenya, Tanzania, Philippines, Brazil, Turkey, wherever to write it. Don't choose a date if you're not confident. So the more you work with a tutor, the more your pass rates, the percentages, then they can tell, oh, you're doing well, the graph is going up, you're doing well, your graph is going up, and then you'll be able to face it and pass it one time. Because if you fail it, it's stressful. You have to now come home looking for money and all that stress, the shame of it and all that. You don't want all that. Some of you take vacation from work to go do it. Now you got to find a way to get another vacation from work with another story. You don't want that headache. So just prepare when you go. No rush. Go whenever you're ready. Don't go because your friend or your study mate is ready to go. This is a very unique journey. Go and take Nclex whenever you're ready. Don't go because somebody else is going. Please, I know what I'm telling you. You've passed, you've updated your resume, you sent it to me or whoever. You're going to full job search mode. There comes direct hire and agency. And in one way or the other, direct hire, it's not too different from agency, to be frank with you. Because some of these hospitals are so busy, too big, and burdened with a lot of clinical stuff. So they just delegate an agency, give them a contract that go find us 200 nurses. We want 10 in ICU, 5 in med-surg, 8 in outpatient, 9 in the ED. So the agencies go, aka Evans, Ogidi Payton, Passport USA, Green Staff. They go and find you. So you still end up going to a third party. It's easier that way if you ask me, especially if you're outside the US. If you already live in the USA or you have a green card and you're able to come in, then you can go to your neighborhood and be applying one-to-one and looking for that. But even that, those facilities also have recruiters. So if you apply on Indeed, I've been on Indeed a lot lately. If you go on there, there's still a hospital recruiter. So let's say you are using a One Health System, Ohio Health System, or Northside Hospital in Georgia, or you're using University of Rochester Health System, URMC. All these places, there will still be a recruiter that will reach out to you at the end of the day. You are not applying to the hospital directly in that like that. They still have somebody blocking it and talking to you and see if you qualify before they even delve into your case further or allot some time to you in the first place. If you go into an agency, you have certain hours, 6,000 hours, 2.5 years, 3 years to meet. After that, you are free to go. I have a friend, shout out, he's like, I can't wait to finish my 6,000 hours and I'll go and I'll be free. He's done it, he's finished it, and guess what? He's still at that same facility because relocation is not that easy. And you might end up liking where you work and that you finish your hours and you don't even want to leave. So it's not that bad, it's not that terrible. 2.5 years, some of them 6,000 hours. When you do overtime, it adds to it and reduces the number of hours left. And by the time you realize 2.5 years has passed, you're free to go. So we do have direct and indirect hires at UPC where you can apply to us. You meet with our employers. If you like what they are selling, I always tell nurses, go and look elsewhere. Do your research, do a lot of interviews, choose the best because you paid for this process yourself. You wrote the exams yourself. You should be able to do this. And I know that some of you already have a facility before even going right. When you're dealing with agents like, let's say, Evans, they already have a job for you somewhere in Maine before you even going right. So the job is waiting for you. And sometimes the job will be waiting for you. Recently, they canceled a friend of mine. He had a job, he's with an agency, said the facility does not need him anymore. So now the agency is trying to find him a job. He's written and passed. So the scenario is very different for everybody, okay? Anyway, so let's say you found a job. You're gonna have to do visa screen certificate, and CGFN has issues that if you already use them for evaluation, they have your documents. You go on there, there are criteria you gotta meet, there are things you gotta submit to give them what they need. They basically combine your Nclex results and your English test and then issue a certificate. That's just a summary of it. You have the certificate, and then the employer or the recruiter, quote unquote, is working with you and giving you whatever you need. Sign this, they file your I-140, you keep going. They normally do EB3, employment-based visa category 3, but nowadays, because of retrogression, some are using an HB1 visa category. But with that, you gotta have a bachelor's degree to qualify for that. Okay, so if there isn't an EB3, your family qualifies, your kids under 21, your spouse can come and along with you and start a life with you in the USA. So everybody's story is unique. If you have a bachelor's degree, you're young, you want to do the HB1 visa, sometimes a 1-year contract, sometimes 2-year contracts, you can keep renewing it. Teachers come through that route a lot. I had a teacher on here to share a little about that. So do a lot of reading. You have to love reading. You have to love paperwork to be able to go through this process. I said that so many times, so I hope it's sinking in right now. Money, obviously, to go through it. So whatever, if you go with direct contract, at the end of it, time will pass. You'll be free. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to go to travel nursing, you can do that. I've been doing that lately for some time now. It's been good. So the choice is totally yours. One thing about America is there's so many type of nurses you can become. So many type. Do you know my friend, she's a remote nurse. She works from home. She has a computer, walkie-talkie, headphones set up in her house. She's assisting a bedside nurse to do bedside nursing. So she's doing like, oh, I'll admit your patient for you. Oh, I'll discharge patient in room 203. Oh, room 207 has been cleaned. Let me page the doctor for you. The doctor orders the orders have been placed, and she's just doing that from home. And somebody's on the ground doing the cleaning and the medications and all, and she's ordering, oh, I've spoken to pharmacy, I've reached out to blood bank, they're preparing the blood, all that stuff. You can be a dialysis nurse, oncology nurse, you can Any type of nurse you can think of. Anywhere there are human beings, there's a need. You can work at NASCAR, you can work at Disney, whatever you want to do. There are options to do it. People worry a lot about states. There's gun violence, there's this, there's crime everywhere. There are natural disasters, there's fire, there's tornado, there's winter storm, blizzard. You choose whichever one works for you. Nowhere cool. The toxicity, racism, whatever, it's everywhere, even among your own siblings in your own house, at your own job, back in your own home country. The manager does not like you, somebody is there stressing you out and all that. It's everywhere. You just come do your thing and go out. The hours are either 12 hours, 3 days, 36, 10 hours, 4 10s, 8 hours, 5 days. Those are mainly outpatient, but if you're doing bedside days or nights, it's 3 12s, then you have 4 days off. You can rest and go back, but it's intense, but it's doable. You just have to find a work-life balance, find schools for your children. You do all that you need to do to get going, have a social life, know how to distress, know how to have a good time, not to work and overtime, because we have families to feed back home. You need to be mentally okay here, and also you need to be very comfortable here before you be sending money to somebody far away or building something far away where you're not going to stay anytime soon. You need to have your home set up nice and beautiful. You need to be comfortable. You need to eat right, exercise, sleep well, be happy, focus on you and your spouse and children before you start worrying about those who are home, who are actually living comfortably more than you out there working your behind for them. That's just, by the way, a little advice. Retrogression, it is a thing, you can't change it. Indians are hopeful, so who are you not to be hopeful? If you know the history of retrogression for India, they are still back there. I don't know what year they have gotten to, but for you worldwide, I think it's now moved to December 2020. So if your case was there before 2021, you're making some sort of progress, and it's moving faster than it used to be. I have so many people reach out to me for so many questions, but basically, if you want to become a nurse, this is what you need to do. All this I've said in about a good 15 minutes video. If you think it's too much, you don't want the headache, you've tried, you failed your test, your evaluation report says negative and you're disappointed, this one is the board says no, you still want to go ahead, you still want to work in USA, you want to move here, you want to school here, you want your kids to school here, you want to join your spouse, your wife is here, your husband is here, you have a green card, your partner is in school, you just want to be in the USA, then you have to do whatever it takes to be in the USA. Some of you are already here as nurses. In the meantime, you can find something to do. I always advise, personally, what I did was I went to work as a PCT, patient care technician. That's like a CNA, a carer, an aide. I did that close to 2 years because I was doing my things from the US before I finally wrote my Nclex, took my boards, passed, and then converted from PCT to an RN. So if you are here, I advise to go into a health system close by where you live. Then you see how the American health system is run, how hospitals are run, how outpatients are run, and then when finally it motivates you too, because you're like, oh, I used to be a nurse in my country, and look at all these people, nurses, I can do it too. Then you meet people who are also on that same journey. Shout out to my good friend we met on that journey. You become an RN, then you can just emerge in that same hospital, that same facility, that same care home, that same nursing home, and then they convert your position from CNA, carer, aide to become an RN. It's easier than going to some warehouse and then you drift away from your dreams. You don't see fellow nurses there. You don't see immigrant nurses trying to convert. You don't get the motivation. But being a CNA, that 2 years prepped me a lot. All that ADL, activity of daily living, the gadgets, how to use a Hoyer lift, Sarah lift, and all these things. I knew how to do it. So when I became an RN, I just added the knowledge to it. And then I already had a hands-on because grooming and all that was part of me being a CNA. So it was just easy to transition. So I advise that if you are in your country, you're not working, but you have a nursing license, try and find some health-related thing to do. If it's an NGO, a non-governmental organization, a voluntary something, Red Cross, hospital, mental health community outreach, something in your church screening group or some. Find something to do, because you're gonna put that in your resume, and those things reflect well on you. If you think that you really want to work, maybe change where you work and you're outpatient, you want to go bedside, this is the time to go, because immigration can take somewhere between 2 to 4 years, and that's a lot of time to put an active experience on your resume. If you are fresh from school, no grad, you haven't worked a day, you're doing a national service, or you're just searching for a job, find a place to do something just to put on your resume in the meantime. I'm not saying that it is not, you will not get a job because you don't have work experience. You will, you might, but it will take longer. Because if 10 people are applying, somebody has 10 years experience, somebody has ICU, somebody has ER, somebody has all these mercy ship, working on these voluntary things, going to country on a cruise ship to do surgeries, and traveling to countries to do surgeries for free and all that. Who do you think they'll take first before they come to you, who just finished school and haven't worked a day? So it's just good to get yourself busy, find something to do in the meantime. I pray that we all have good health this year and the years going forward. We will have a daily source of living, daily bread and income to be able to sustain this process, because it's capital intensive. It involves a lot of money. If you think that you can't do this, there's too much information, delegate it to me. This is what I'm here for. Come to USRN Pathway Consult.com. Register, we'll reach out to you, we'll hold your hand, walk you through the process, give you the forms to fill, and assist you to get the documents you need from your necessary institutions, register board of nursing, do fingerprinting, PSNVU registration, all that, helping with your flight booking, looking at the dates and all those things. You're right to pass, we give your documents to employers, and then you are able to finally get your visa, come to USA, get a green card, matter of 5 years, become a citizen if you want the citizenship. Not everybody wants it. And give a nice springboard foundation to your kids. You're able to make a change in your family situation. And it's not rosy, but I always say there's a reason why you're looking into it. It's definitely better than where you are. And if you want to make the change, it's my job and my responsibility to make sure I give you the right information. And do readings out there. There are other videos you can watch out there that can help you. Do your research, do your thorough research, and merge all that information. Stay with like-minded people only. Some people would discourage you, come to find out they're doing the same process, and the next day they are boarding a flight to leave. So stay with people who are focused, people who know what they are doing, people who have your interests at heart, people who are studying and burning the midnight candle. And if you have any questions, leave in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I don't know what you're doing, but please hit that red subscribe button, send this video to other people, share it everywhere, follow us on social media. We have an Instagram page, USRN Pathway Consult. We have I have my own personal page, Bislakuma RN. We have a Facebook page, Facebook group, Telegram group, LinkedIn. We are everywhere. The best way to reach us is WhatsApp us, and then we are on top of it to reach you. Happy New Year once again, and be safe. Love yourself, prioritize your peace of mind, and do not let anybody tell you no, because it is a yes and it's doable. Take care. Bye-bye. Ciao.